Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So considering that the summer is finally starting and that we are finally allowed to go out and maybe to shop a little bit, I imagine that a lot of you are on the hunt for the perfect summer pieces. So I thought it could be interesting to do a videos on how I do plan my summer wardrobe and specifically how I plan my future purchases so that I am sure that what I'm buying will last me for as much as possible, and that there are pieces that I really love and that they will really work for my style and lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get started. So the very first thing I do is writing down what are my main activities for the summer and what is the type of weather I am expecting. And this is essential to first of all assess your own wardrobe to see if what you have is actually useful for you, or maybe you have something that is really not appropriate for your current lifestyle. And secondly, this would be very much necessary to understand what to buy. So in my case, for example, I will work for the majority of the summer and I do have an office job. So it would be absolutely pointless to buy a ton of shorts, bikinis, these kind of things, because I simply will not have the opportunity to wear them. On the other side, it might be a little bit smarter to buy things that can actually use in an office job. Secondly, I do live in Belgium, which has some fantastic summer day, more than people expect, but you also need to expect some chilly and rainy days. So in my case, the best thing to do is buying things that can be easily layered up and down so that I'm prepared for any kind of situations. Once that I have this framework in mind, I can actually go ahead and start planning my summer wardrobe. Now that you know what you need, try to understand what you like. What is the style that you like? What are the specific materials, colors, silhouettes, etc., etc. And the best place to start understanding that is your own wardrobe. So try to look at everything you have and to really understand what are the things that you love the most and why. And I would say to the opposite, try to understand what are the things that you really don't like and why, because this is very useful to know, because you will know what you don't have to buy anymore, for example. So once you understood what you like in your wardrobe, use that as your basis to try to understand what is the general style you want to achieve. And at that point you can look for inspiration also somewhere else. You can really look for inspiration everywhere. You can look at the internet, you can look at people you know, you can look at shops, really everywhere. I would suggest to be a little bit careful with social media, and that's because first of all you will find really a lot of trendy pieces, and trendy pieces are amazing for a season but not really for more than that, so you need to be a little bit careful. They're not the best way to find your own style. And secondly, because especially in Instagram you have a lot of amazing picture with amazing outfits that works in Instagram but not really in real life, and unless your job is actually making picture for Instagram, and then it's one thing. But if you are a normal person with a normal job, then those pictures can be a little bit misleading, because what you like of that picture is probably not reproducible in your everyday life, at least not without looking a little bit ridiculous. So what you can do instead is try to understand what is again the general vibe of that picture that you like, and try to reproduce that with what you already have instead. That makes way more sense because it's something that you can actually wear. So once you did that, try to really write down everything that you like. Every time you see that there is a specific feature, something that you are constantly attracted to, then write it down, because chances are that these will be elements of your own personal style. So in my case, for example, I wrote down on a notebook, first of all, what are my keyword that really describe the style that I want to achieve. So when I want to buy something, I know that it needs to respect this kind of very general description. So my keywords are classic, elegant, simple, and light, where light I mean light colored. So once I did that, I try also to track down what is my color palette, what are the color I want in my wardrobe. And the color palette is something that I really underestimated in the past, because I thought that was not very necessary, and I simply bought any kind of color I liked. The problem with that was that I had a lot of color that were really clashing with each other, and that's not what you want, because at that point you can't wear your clothes together basically, and it's not particularly practical. So I did divide my color palette into the core colors, which are like my basics. So these are the colors that I will have the most in my wardrobe, and these are white, black, beige and navy. And after that I wrote down what I want as accent color, which are those colors that I use to add a little bit of a pop of color of interest in my otherwise very basic color palette. And these are pink, baby blue, although I would say in a more muted version, and then instead of gray I'm actually considering using red, because I noticed that I do really enjoy having something of red every once in a while. So this is generally my color palette. I also wrote down what are the material I want to have, and in my case it's pretty easy. I do want only natural material for summer, because I need something that is very breathable. So I have cotton, linen, silk, and then hemp, tencel, any other kind of natural material. Of course, this doesn't mean that I will delete from my wardrobe everything that is in synthetic, because that wouldn't be very sustainable or very smart. So I will keep what I already have, but I know that if I buy something new, it needs to be in this color, in this material, and it needs to be something that pertains to my general description, to the general style I want to achieve. And then finally, I also wrote down the specific features I want from my clothes. So I know that my clothes needs to be as much as possible versatile. I honestly don't want to have many clothes that work only for a specific situation. I want my clothes to be as versatile as possible. At a very minimum basis, they need to easily translate from day to night, or from a more casual to a more formal officey type of outfit. Then I know that I don't want pants with elastic bands, because I have enough of them and they are pretty casual. So I want something that is a little bit more elevated if it needs to be new. So I know no elastic bands, and then I don't want any too sheer material, because again, not too versatile, and I don't want anything that is either too short or too long, because I know that that would be too difficult for me to style up in an appropriate way. So easy peasy, excluded. And basically these are all the characteristics I wrote. So once you have really a very good idea of what you need and what you like, now you can actually look in your wardrobe and try to understand what you already have, because chances are that you will already have a lot of items that will work perfectly with the description and the style that you have in mind, and try to identify what are those few pieces that you actually need to add. And again, at this point, write a wish list and try to be as specific as possible, so that you will reduce the chances to be sidetracked and buy something just because you like it, even though maybe it doesn't work for your style and lifestyle. So in my case, my wish list is a little bit bigger than what I would normally write in a wish list, because I actually don't have that many summer office appropriate items, so I had to buy a little bit more than I normally do. But in my wish list I wrote I need a pair of proper trousers. I need a pair of shorts. Now I do want a pair of shorts that are really like short trousers more than short, so I want them to be a little bit longer and in a proper fabric rather than jeans, and that are a little bit more elevated, so that it is something that I can use also in a office for the other day. And similarly, I want a skirt that I can use very easily in a office. And that's the problem, is that until now I only use shorts and skirts when I was at the beach, so what I have is not really appropriate for what I actually need in this moment of my life. And then I need a white t-shirt, just because all my white t-shirt at this point are rags, and a white t-shirt for me is just non-negotiable. It's something I really need in my wardrobe all year round. But for the rest, if I have to buy other tops, I would like to buy something like this. It is a little bit more a knitted top, because it's a little bit more elevated and it works a little bit better for like a variety of situations, rather than a t-shirt that is pretty much a casual item. And as last, but this is probably not a necessity, it's more if I find the right items I will buy it, and is a pair of jeans, because my jeans are very dark and I already have a lot of dark trousers, so I would like to have a pair of like proper blue denim that are in a little bit more lighter wash. So it's a little bit more appropriate for summer. But as I was saying, this is not like the main necessity of my wardrobe. And that's it for today. This is really how I plan my summer wardrobe, and I find it takes a little bit of time, but it's very effective. And since I started to really do that, I reduced massively my misbuy, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye!